I've got this condition where I don't feel pain.
Hey, there we go.
Oh my god, you're a superhero.
No.
It really was beginning to feel like we'd seen every variation of the every man becoming a hero trope. It almost gives us the impression that it can happen to anybody, making the hero all the more relatable. And inevitably, it becomes a bit unbelievable as they take way more damage than should be humanly possible. But hey, it's a movie, right? Well, NOVOCAINE fixes that problem by giving our heroic lead a genetic condition that makes it so he can't feel pain. I'm sure you can imagine all the wonderful ways this can be exploited in an action movie. And it is glorious. NOVOCAINE follows Nate, played by Jack Quaid, an assistant bank manager who has been coddled his entire life due to his limited life expectancy. He doesn't eat anything out of fear of him biting off his own tongue, and despite exceeding his expected departure date, he's hardly even living with how bubble-wrapped his life is. But all of that changes when Sherry, played by Amber Midthunder, starts working at the bank and shows interest in Nate. The first act is intentionally on the slow side, really wanting us to get to know both Nate and Sherry. It's not so cutesy that it feels like a rom-com, but you can genuinely feel these people making a connection. So as much as the slower side may be annoying to some, especially with the high-octane marketing, this really sets up the film beautifully. For someone that can't feel pain, Jack Quaid is really able to get you to feel for Nathan Kane. He proves to be a fantastic lead where you are genuinely rooting for him to succeed. Even the multiple people that he kills all feel deserved, so he maintains a moral center despite the chaos. He and Amber Midthunder have great chemistry together, and they had me completely won over with their love story. I was a little worried that they were going a little too cutesy with it, but they threw a wrench into things that I think really layers their romance well. Ray Nicholson shows up as the main bad guy, Simon, and it's not quite as flashy as his Borderline role, but he still makes for a decent villain. If anything, I wish he was dialed up just a little bit more. Jacob Batalon is exactly who he usually plays, the reliable best friend with funny quips and a heart of gold. He has some funny lines, but his storyline is very predictable. And I have to shout out Matt Walsh, because he's hilarious as Coltrane, a detective who wants to be anywhere except working on this case. I wish his pursuit of Nate was more prominent just so we could get more Walsh one-liners. Any film like this is judged based on its action, and the gimmick of not being able to feel pain sets up some pretty fun stunts. While Quaid has been part of The Boys for years, this is easily the most that he's gotten in on the actual stunt work, with plenty of hand-to-hand fighting. Nate isn't some judoku or karate champion, so it's mostly defensive, and it never feels unbelievable. He gets his ass kicked an appropriate amount. The highlight of NOVOCAINE comes from a set piece inside a booby-trapped house. The Home Alone-esque nature of the traps combined with Nate's ignorance to pain makes for a fun time. If anything, I wish this element was dragged out longer as it's such a fun sequence. I feel like whenever some action movie comes along that impresses, it's always, this reminds me of a film from a different era. And I've been guilty of that too, but that doesn't apply here. NOVOCAINE feels very modern, and builds off of all of the similar movies that have come before it. There were some twists and turns that I never saw coming, and it helped to keep the film fresh. While it doesn't break from the norm too often, when it does, it gives the film a lot more personality. Jack Quaid has added yet another character type that he can pull off effortlessly. Action star. Which is why I'm giving NOVOCAINE an 8 out of 10.
Oh, no, stop it. Wow, that hurt. That one hurt the most.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.